Hey everybody, it's your favorite Santa here. Tat. Just waiting on Ronnie Z to come in. Hopefully everybody had a good day. Wasn't too bad of a day. Hello, Ronnie Z.
How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Let's get this a little straightened out. I think I'm
Got to rotate the
almost
camera.
there.
There
Oh,
you go. Rotate.
oh, fuck. There we go. This, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah, I swear a lot.
Right, right.
So it's with three people, it's that angle. I get it. I get it. One of these days I'll figure it out.
Right.
All right. There we go. Shine and everything. Hopefully it doesn't flare the camera.
There you go. Yeah, give everybody a minute or so to get here. People start watching.
How is it doing?
How was the
Shit.
how was the you got it?
Yeah, hold on a second. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know where my picture went, but can you see me?
I can see you.
Yeah, I got some sort of ad up here. I have no what it is, but oh well. Oh, it is what it is. As long as you
Right.
hear me.
I can hear you. Let me do this. Did that just clear it up?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Closer.
There we go. How was uh how was the car business today?
Slow with interest rates and with the election coming, people are scared.
Oh, oh
There's
yeah.
no good way to say it. It is
I
what
think
it is.
I think every industry is seeing that. No matter what you're in, people are scared and yeah, things aren't selling. Yep.
And things will get better. You know, every election year does this. Just you got to stay positive. You can't dwell on the negativity. You just got to
Right.
push forward.
Right.
Especially in sales, you're negative. Oh, this, that. Who wants to deal with you? You know,
Right.
so
Right.
you have to realize it's going to be okay. Let
Sure.
them know it's going to be okay.
Right. Well, just so everybody knows, Big Big Cobb Diesel is not going to be able to make it with us tonight. He he got called into work, so we're going to kind of do like an open forum thing tonight. Because what we were going to talk about was red flag laws and some other stuff, but I really want to make sure that there's all three of us on here when we talk about that, because we had discussed about what we are going to do. So I want to wait to do that. So tonight's going to be kind of like an open forum. Hello, Ken. Thanks for being here.
And
Um, so we'll have like an open forum. So all questions, ask away. Especially with you, Ronnie Z. I know you probably have some questions. Open forum
well,
discussion with the tactical Santa. So anybody wants to ask tactical Santa questions or Ronnie Z, it's a time to get inside my brain and I will answer questions. So
every time I ask a question, it costs me money. So last we ended last time I asked about the quick plot, and they're like, no, they don't use that anymore. So now you got to get the new improved. So I'm like, all right, there's some more money.
right, right, right.
And then when I take the stop the bleed class, that's me more money, just money,
Yeah. It's just paper, right? Just paper.
paper or
Yep.
credit. Yeah, plastic, one or the other.
Right, right,
But I
right.
am looking forward to that
Hmm.
to see how many other people can. It's just good to have.
Right, right. So if anybody wants to come on and ask a question, we can do that too. Let's see here. Big Ken. I'll bet you Big Ken has a question he'd want to ask me. Let's bring him on really quick. Oh, nope. Can't join the broadcast this time. All right. So, what are some typical questions you might have for me, Ron? What
Well, I know, I know this one. You're gonna love this one. Why don't
okay.
you like reloads?
Why don't I like reloads? Do you want the long answer or do
we
you
got
want the
time. We
do you
got
want
time.
the quick and easy tactical Santa answer?
Uh,
So
this is
the the reason I don't trust reloads is this. if you're talking about store-bought reloads, companies that are making reloads, um, the peace of mind to me is usually they're only like a dollar or two cheaper a box, right? And the problem with reloads is they come with no guarantee, so or warranty or anything like that, whatever you want to say. But if, for example, you buy reloads and you're out there shooting, and let's say you come across a reload that's overcharged and it blows your gun up, you're out of luck. Going to tell you that reloading company is not going to do anything about that to make it right. Okay. Um, Standard box stuff, big factory stuff, if you go out and you have a problem with it, and for example, it blows your gun up, you've got the box, you've got the lot number, you call them up and they're going to make sure that you're taken care of. Uh, I really like my hands. I work with my hands. I don't want to take a chance of blowing a gun up in my hands, right? Right. And when it comes down to like I've had a lot of guys that I know that have come into gun stores I worked at, or I've met them through classes. They're like, hey, I reload. Let me get you some of your reloads. There is only two people on this planet that I trust their reloads to. Everybody else, I won't trust it. I won't shoot the reloads. I don't want anything to do with it. It's a me thing. Um, when it comes down to it, I don't trust people when it comes to reloading because one little distraction and you can add way too much powder and you can create a problem. And I don't want to deal with that. So that's why I don't shoot reloads. I'd rather pay the extra money and get factory fresh.
Yeah, it's not that extra. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Right.
And again, if you buy the good quality stuff, when you have a nice firearm, you don't want to put anything in that could possibly damage it
Right.
when you have to use it.
Right.
Just micro fractures or who knows.
Right. Well, and it comes down to this, like for example, when you run the twin to my everyday carry, right? And not that it's a $4,000 staccato or anything like that, but we do have money wrapped up into our daily carries. And, I'm not going to take a chance of wrecking that firearm by saving a couple dollars on reloads. That's just not going to do it. If I had I guess if I had some cheap beater gun that I just wanted to go abuse and beat the hell out of it may be a different story. But at the same time, it still comes down to I don't want anything blowing up in my hands. I make money with these hands, so I'm not going to jeopardize my hands by using reloaded ammo that could blow up in my hands. So yeah,
You see a lot of it, especially now. Especially now.
right, right,
As I said, people are trying to save every penny, shortcuts here
sure,
and there, and that's just one
sure.
don't recommend.
I mean, there's places you can save money on, you can cut corners on, and there's other things when it comes to the firearms industry, whatever it is, you don't cut corners on, and my belief is on ammo, you don't cut corners. I'm a factory fresh type of guy. No reloads for me. I'm not going to try to save money there, you know. And it's interesting you talk about that because I get asked all the time. It's like holsters, for example, right? There's a lot of holster companies now, and they're making these 20, 30, 40, $50 holsters, and I'm not a holster snob or a gun snob by any means, right? But if you're buying equipment or gear that you're going to wear every day and you depend on this to operate and to perform, if you ever come across a situation where you have to use, I'm not cutting corners on my gear. Do I spend money on holsters? Yeah, I've got a lot of money wrapped up in holsters. Usually my holsters run about 130, $140 a piece. And it's not me trying to brag and it's not me trying to be a snob, but I know it works for me. And all these holsters I buy are good quality. I've never had a fitment issue. They do what they're supposed to do. So I would never shame anybody for any holster that they get, but you have to look at it another way. Exactly. You got a nice black arch there.
Love this thing.
Yep. But it comes down to, I mean, we've both said it a bunch of times, right? What is your life worth? You know, and if I have to spend some extra money on gear that works, that's going to save my life, that I'm going to depend on every day, well, I'm going to save. I'm going to use the money that way. I'm not going to worry about saving money on that aspect.
As you say, when it comes to holsters, everyone who's been this a while has buckets full of ones that didn't work.
Right.
You know what? I trusted you. I have inside and outside the waistband, and I can't be more happy. I am going to get two more just as backups because I use this so
Sure.
much. What's going to happen now when I lose it, it breaks or whatever. So
Right.
once you find something that works for you, like I said,
Right.
it's just money. Get backups so you have it. It feels the
Right.
same. Grab and go.
Right. Right. And that's a good thing is, you know, when you buy high quality holsters, their life expectancy is a lot longer than the cheap stuff anyway. I mean, I've seen guys that
Mm.
they buy the $50 holsters, right? And they're like, "Oh, I can't spend 130 bucks on holsters that you buy." I'm like, that's no problem. But what ends up happening is every year or every 8 months, they're buying a new $50 holster because that $50 holster doesn't make it, right? And by the end of the day, you've spent more on cheap holsters because you've had to replace and replace and replace than if you could have just bought once and cried once and bought something that's going to last, you know.
And the good
Um,
ones are more comfortable. Even this
for
year,
sure.
because it has the area that's softer to absorb
Right.
moisture, easy to clean. Yeah,
Right.
for some of those other ones, they put them in and they're always moving and adjusting it, trying to get it fit just right. And you see it, like we
Right.
discuss all the time. We'll go out to eat, and it's like play that little game: who's carrying? And
Right.
most people, you can tell, this, and mainly it's because their holster.
Hmm. There's actually two failure points when people are carrying that are dead giveaways for people. Um, First off is usually they don't have a holster that's comfortable, right? If it's not comfortable, they're constantly adjusting it. When they're walking, you can see it wiggle sometimes because it's not in the right place. But the next thing that is the next failure point are belts. People wearing the wrong type of belt.
You're
Um,
right on. I was going to bring that up, but yes, yes,
you
and
know,
we know why. Yep.
we actually had a video of a problem with the belt that we a reel that we posted up. But you know, I consider belts, so I run the Next belts. I haven't at the store I work at. We haven't had them in for a while, but I believe they're like 50, $60 for a Next belt. To me, if I have to replace the Next belt once a year, which I haven't, but even if I had to, I think it's probably one of the best carry belts out there. You know, and the problem is, I mean, I hate to use an example, but you bought one of the cheaper ones off Amazon, the
Just one,
knockoffs,
just to
right?
see, compare.
Right. And when you got it more, how does that compare to your Next belt, the one?
You know, the first appearances, when you unravel it and everything else, like, oh, look, it's the same. You cut it, oh, it looks the same. But once you start using it, you see the material and how it wears and discolors, and this little fray end, and even the locking mechanism, um, and depending on what size belt, the clicking part is smaller, so you have to
Right.
really know what you're doing. But the latch itself,
Right.
the powder coating is already coming off the clip itself. So it's just you got what you paid for. And
Right.
again, I think it was like $18 on Amazon.
Right. Right. But yeah, it's
Cat's gonna knock down the stand.
right. Right.
Yeah, this is my special needs cat, Nestor.
There
He's a
we
wobbly cat,
go.
so he is
Right.
he's a little different.
Right. You know that's the thing too is I mean, $50 to some people could be a lot of money. I mean, I know when I struggle with you know, I've had points in my life where I've struggled, didn't have a lot of money, but It's 50, 60 bucks on a really good everyday carry belt is going to help you a lot,
But
because if you have a flimsy belt, um, the coolest thing about these things, and if you hold on a second, what a lot of people I don't realize, the reason why we love them so much is, so I have one right here, right? And it's like wearing a big zip tie. So in the morning, you put this on, and you know you're feeling skinny this morning, so you adjust it and it's tight, right? You have lunch, and then all of a sudden, guess what? You're like, man, I got to let this out a little bit. This thing is infinitely adjustable, and that's what makes it so awesome. Because I don't know about you, but every time I try to wear a leather gun belt, because you have to hit the
Mhm.
hole, it's always, I'm in between. So it's always a little bit too tight or a little bit too loose. And this solves the problem. This is, you know what? I can make it as tight or as loose as I need to. And look at that. There is no bend in this thing. This is firm. This is stiff. This is by far Tactical Santa's number one belt that he likes to wear.
And one nice thing, people who kind of fluctuate on their weights,
Yep.
you don't have to worry about, oh, I have to use the other hole to upset you. You never know. You put it on.
Right,
No, when you yo-yo effect on your weights, you
right,
just
right,
clip. You have no idea where it's at. It fits you good, and you're good to go. So it's
right,
not like,
right.
oh my goodness, I thought I was losing weight. Yeah, it is dumb as it sounds, but that is important.
Right. No, it is, and you've heard me say this a lot of times, especially when I'm working with new people when they're new to concealed carry, is that everything is a system and everything has to be comfortable for you, right? So first off, when I get with people, we talk about the first thing that comes up is handguns. They're like, my God, you're a Glock guy, so Glock must be the best thing in the world. And I'm like, listen, just because I'm a Glock guy doesn't mean it fits your hand right. We have to get something in your hand that feels good. Now, after we find some that feel good in the hand, now we've got to get you out on the range. You should probably, and a lot of people miss out on this. I will tell you this: I've had guns that fit good in my hand, and then I actually go out and shoot them. And I'm like, man, it fit good in my hand. I go to shoot it. I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me. So a step that a lot of people miss out on when they're looking for a gun is find a place, a gun store that has rentals. Rent the gun that you're looking at before you buy. Because like I said, I put guns in my hands. I'm like, wow, this feels awesome. I go out and shoot it. And yeah, I don't like the way it feels. I don't like the recoil impulse. It does not feel good when you shoot it. So, number one thing, find the firearm that fits your hand and feels good. Because if it doesn't feel good in your hand and you don't feel good when you shoot it, I can never make you, or I should say, any good firearms instructor can never make you shoot better if the gun does not fit your hand and you don't feel comfortable with it. So, comfort is the big thing. The second thing on the system is you've got to have the right belt. If you don't have the right belt, I see this. I see a lot of guys wear the leather belts. They're like the floppy leather, right? And they're like,
Yeah,
well, it's
sorry
a
about that.
right. It's a leather belt, but it's floppy. You can fold it over on its side. What will happen then is when you're walking down the street with this, it's going to flop on you. It's going to wiggle and jiggle, and guess what? That's not going to be comfortable by any means. The next part is you've got to have the right holster. Figuring out where you want to carry, whether it be inside, outside. Is it going to be strong side? Is it going to be appendix? You know, maybe none of that works for you. Maybe you have physical limitations and you may have to carry in a shoulder rig, or maybe you have problems to where you have to carry cross draw. Now, there's advantages and disadvantages to every place to carry, but at the end of the day, it has to be comfortable for you, because if it's not comfortable for you, if you don't have the right combination, you're not going to carry, and that totally defeats the purpose of everything that you're trying to achieve. So comfort And sometimes you have to spend money on good gear so you're comfortable and you'll carry that firearm, you
But
know?
sometimes too, stuff happens that makes you realize that you hear, yeah. But you were there the one time I had my old gun belt. I've had them for almost 20 years now.
Right.
Was not feeling that good that day. My stomach hurts, so I loosened the belts. And when I sat on the stool, um, because the belt was loose and it was very easily moved, it actually flipped the holster upside down. So now the gun was pointing up at me, and that
Right.
was like, all right, yep, he was right. Next day,
Right.
got a next belt.
Right.
Never
Right.
had that problem because now you can leave the belts loose. It's
Hmm.
gonna the holster is still gonna clip onto it. It's not gonna move, and the gun's always gonna be pointing in the safe direction while it's on your body.
Right.
So after that, I don't even know where those belts are, and I've had those over 20 years.
Right. Now, you know, and that's the thing is sometimes gear does matter. Having the right stuff, it does make a big difference, you know. Um, and sometimes people like learning the hard way, so you got to let them learn. But hopefully, some people will listen to this. And if you haven't checked Next Belts out, check Next Belt out. There's a couple that do kind of make the same stuff. You got, I believe, Next Belt, Core, and I think there's one other company that their belts are kind of close. They all kind of make the same thing. So check one of those out. Don't just go to Myers or Target or your local store and buy a leather belt because it's not going to stand up. It's not going to stand the test of time. It's not going to do you any favors carrying.
Well, even next belt versus the one I got off Amazon for a
Yeah,
fraction of the price. As little as detailed this is, it makes a big difference. The
right,
next belt actually has that little loop for it, so as soon as it goes through, you can still loop it. Where the
right,
cheap ones don't have that, so hopefully the other belt loop is right there.
right,
Otherwise, it gets kind of a little. They went cheap. They cut out a little small detail.
right, right. Yep. Any other questions you have about gear for me? Anything that you can
Oh,
think of about gear?
I can go on and on and on because again, I was like thinking with sports jackets about even when you have it in
Right,
your pits, and you're
right,
like, well, it's not as nice and easy to get to as you think it is because as you showed me, all I gotta do is approach you and put my arm on your chest, and you can't draw. So
right,
so that was a great conversation too,
right.
and
Now, I will tell you, I have met some individuals that are really good shoulder care, using a shoulder rig. That, and the problem is, and the reason why I bring up why I taught you about if somebody comes up and pushes you and they can stop you from getting a draw, the big part about that is because most people don't have situational awareness. And if they're that close to where they can do that, you've already lost the battle. They're way too close. You should have identified that coming up. Your situational awareness should have, spidey senses should have went off, or should I say the tactical Santa senses should have went off and said, hey, something's going on here. I need to get room. I need to make room, right? But that's the bad thing about, I mean, it could be said for anything, right? If I'm too close to you, it doesn't matter if you have a strong side holster, appendix holster, if you're carrying cross draw, if you're shoulder rigging it. If I'm too close, you're going to have a hard time drawing from any of those holsters, So having your head on a swivel and actually watching your environment will save you from that. But a lot of people get buried in the foam.
and have to ask this too. What's your opinion on holstering your gun inside the waistband without a belt?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. So here's the deal. Here's the thing. Are you kind of asking like about like when people wear sweatpants and stuff like
The
that, or
sweatpants or any,
sure,
it's just loose fitting
sure,
because again, these pants
sure,
aren't as high in the waist as they used to be.
sure,
And if you have any kind of extra weight on this belly,
sure,
you understand that
sure.
real fast. They're much lower.
Well,
And
and
all the
and
time you
here's
see people because their pants sag because there's no
right.
belts. Um, yeah, because um, Rostic just posted a video not too
Hmm.
long ago. He was at a Subway,
Yep.
and there's a guy in
Yeah.
sweatpants. The gun is
Had it in
just
the
right
front.
there hanging out.
Right.
So that's one of the.
Right. So I think that okay, so there are ways to carry with sweatpants, and there are a couple manufacturers making sweatpants, or I should say, not so much. They do make sweatpants, but jogger pants. But they're making athletic apparel that is specifically built for carrying. Okay, and I've looked at some of that stuff. I haven't owned any of it. One thing is that probably people look at it and say, well, I can go to Dick's Sporting Goods or somewhere else and buy sweatpants, and they're let's say $20 for a pair, where this type of stuff is like $40 or $50 a pair. So it's going to come down to a financial situation, right? But the other thing is if you are wearing a sweatpants, and let's say you got a good ones where you can really get them tight. The other part of that is on your holster, the clips that are used, you need to swap the regular clips out for Ulti clips. Ulti clips are actually made for people who wear sweatpants and stuff like that. And another big issue is women like to wear yoga pants and leggings a lot. So Ulti clips, you gotta switch out the clips on your holsters. And that's where you get into like good holsters where you can buy different clips from the manufacturer to swap them out. You got to put the right clips on them. The Ulti clips, a lot of people call them alligator clips, but you have to have the right setup to make it work, because if you don't, you're not going to have a fun day.
I know USCCA sells some women yoga pants. They're fantastic, great quality. And I wish my daughter was watching, but make sure you get the right size, because I listen to her. Oh yeah, I'm a small. Jordan, you sure? You sure?
Right.
Yes. And they came in. She opens them and goes, I think they're too small. And I'm like, that's why I asked you a couple times, but didn't want to argue. But they are nice quality.
Well, speaking of that, speaking about size and stuff, a lot of people understand.
This is where it comes down to.
Is there's a couple things that people don't realize when you start carrying, right? So when you take that leap, if you're a newbie and you decide you're going to carry a firearm, right? A couple things you have to understand. One, men and women, you're going to have to buy your pants one size bigger if you're going to carry inside the waistband. Okay? You have to buy one size bigger if you're carrying inside the waistband. The other thing you have to remember is you're going to have to dress around the gun. That's the only way you can do it. You have to dress around the gun. You're going to have to buy different styles of shirts. So, for example, Tactical Santa loves wearing the retro rifle stuff, the Warrior camo stuff, and the Dixon party shirts. Ron, why does the Tactical Santa like shirts with patterns like that?
It breaks it up so you don't see if you imprinting, it hides it, it blends it in. And honestly, like I said, all the time, I love flannels. These aren't quite flannels, but when you carry, you put that over it. What people don't see, they don't get scared. I get it. It's legal to carry outside, but the way people are, you put your shirt over top of it. No one knows. It's none of no one's business.
Right. And that's the thing is learning what type of shirts you can wear. So, for example, if you're one of those guys, you look at the way, and I wish Big Cobb was on, because you look at the way Aaron's built. Aaron is a very built guy, right? But
I'm catching up.
There you go.
It's still going the wrong way, though. Okay, cool that's bigger.
Here's the cool thing. You're doing the gun show part for Aaron right now, right?
That's right.
There we go. But if you look at Aaron, right, he is very built, right? But he is not wearing skin tight shirts, right? Because he carries. He knows that he's got to have room. That way, it doesn't
he cheats. Know why? Because his shoulders and chest is so large and his waist is small. So when he puts it on, his chest and everything is so wide and his shirt just drops down. You can't tell. Where I have the narrow shoulders my gut decides to get wide.
Well, see,
So
we can't say that he's cheating. Let's just say this: he put in a lot of work. So he put in more time sculpting than you and I did, right? So we got to go that route. We can't say because that guy is a machine and he puts lots of work into that.
It's
My
not fair.
props to him,
Okay,
right?
it's not fair.
Right. But I mean, it's something that people don't realize is that you have to dress around the gun. You're going to have to change the way you dress, and you're going to have to learn what works for you, what's comfortable when you carry, you know. I totally changed the way I dress. I've done it 3 or 4 times, changed everything on how I dress because I'm like, wow, this just isn't comfortable no more. And, you know, I don't know if everybody carries as many hours a day that I do. I'm usually carrying 10 to 12 hours a day at least. So I have to be comfortable because the worst thing in the world for me to happen is be at work mid shift and go, wow, this really sucks. I don't want to carry. It's not comfortable. So you have to figure out the right combination so it's comfortable for you. I mean, literally, I tell people once you find your comfortable combination, I've had days literally where I've sat there and been like, wow, it doesn't even feel like I'm carrying a gun because everything is so comfortable. I just kind of forget it's there.
Well,
I don't really.
you did say once you moved to appendix, how that throughout the day, how it made your life easier because it wasn't weighted on the one side.
Right, right. You know, and that's something. So I found as I was getting older, carrying it strong side, man, my hip was starting to hurt. And when I started carrying appendix, didn't have that problem anymore. Now, appendix takes a little bit of adjustment. Um, you have to find your sweet spot on where that holster needs to go. But once you find that sweet spot, and there's a couple things with appendix holsters, you have to. My advice to anybody who's going to carry appendix, buy a good holster. Look at Tier 1, look at LLOD, last line of defense. Look at LAS. Look at T-Rex. Look at the top guys. They are the top guys for a reason. They make really, really good appendix holsters. Now, there's only one company out of those ones that actually make the additional piece that I think that everybody who carries appendix really needs on their holster, and that is the foam wedges. Tier 1 makes foam wedge kit. Now you can get them in standard size or wide size. I run the wide ones on mine, but the thing is there's actually no guide because it comes in a variety pack of sizes, right? Of thickness. There's nobody has come out with a guide to figure out what wedge you need for you. There's no measurement. So I tell everybody buy a variety pack. I think they're like $15 for the variety pack. Buy the variety pack and play around with them and find out which foam wedge is going to work for you. Because what happens is that foam wedge, when you put it on, it will actually push the gun into your body instead of pushing it away. Like when I don't have one that has a wedge on it, it pushes away from me. When I put the foam wedge on, it pushes it into me and you can't see it on me. So you have to, that's another thing that you have to play around with. You know, I'm sure we did yours, right? We put the
Yes.
foam wedge
Yes.
on yours, you know, and that's a big thing. And I remember telling you, you know, I don't know if this is the right size wedge for you. You'll have to put it on and you'll have to play with it to see if it works for you. And that's a big deal, the foam wedges. Yeah.
And about Aaron, he's going to get us both in shape. So that's the best thing about him.
Right.
If you know Aaron, if you're going to be with him, you will get in shape.
Right. That guy is just like pure motivation, man. That guy, like you look at him, and like I said, I tell people, I'm like, I look at Aaron and I never think he's his age. Never looks his age. I mean, the last weekend, the other week when we were up at the GOA ladies event, I remember looking at the lady at the cash register, and he was talking about being on. I'm like, can you believe this guy? He's only 35, and she actually believed
she was
he was
mad.
Yeah,
she was mad.
mad
I got
until
kids
she found
older than you.
right,
Yeah,
right. until I was like, no, he's 53. He's not 35. So yeah, he is in amazing shape, and that's awesome. Um,
And just being around him is going to be in a better mood. I
sure.
met with him at Dearborn Nutrition.
Yep.
Had a big long talk about health. Again, shout out to everybody out there. It's a great place with protein shakes.
Right.
But he goes there regularly, and so will I. So
Hmm.
and they even said it's not just him who's going to get you in shape. We're going to get you in shape too.
Right. You want to know? Want to know something Tactical Santa's excited about?
What's that? Let's hear it.
So I'm excited about. So the first time we did that event, we met Daryl Rostick,
Mm-hmm.
who was the owner of Rostick Arms,
Great
and
guy.
I got to tell you, right, the cool thing about him is right off the bat, right? What an awesome guy. No ego, just a really cool, laid back guy making AR-15s. And we ran those AR-15s and put them to the test, and man, those things run, right? So fast forward to this year, we went to the GOA. It was awesome because Rostic was there, and Rostic and I started talking, and I'm going to kind of do some ambassador stuff for him. Um, I'm excited because last time I talked to him, we're going to figure out when he can send me a rifle so I can start doing some reviews on it. But his stuff is just awesome. I love it because he's a Michigan company. He's on the west side of the state, Grand Rapids. He can get as custom as you want. He does custom Cerakoting. He does laser engraving and everything. But what a great guy. Um, Always have a fun time around that guy. He's always happy. The guy knows his stuff, and I'm going to tell you, they run really awesome. There's only one other guy that builds AR-15s that I would promote like that, and you know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
But yep, but Rostic is the Rostic Arms. If you guys haven't checked them out, go to rosticarms.com. I can't say enough great stuff about that guy, and customer care, man. That guy like really cares
And
that you're happy.
get him now because
Yeah,
once he goes famous,
yeah,
price is doubled.
yeah,
So right now it's gonna be the same rifle.
right.
He knows his stuff.
Yes, he does. He's awesome. That guy makes awesome AR-15s. Some other stuff. Let's say I don't know if anybody caught it, but I'll be doing the second part of my review tomorrow. This is mainly for us bearded guys, but I got approached and I'm ambassadoring for that the beard saver that you put on AR-15s. It's a small part. It's like a $15 accessory put on AR-15. It goes on the stock. I have a video, a reel up of just having it on the rifle. I'm actually going to be doing a video of me shooting a rifle with it on, but it's basic, it's simple, and what it does is it keeps your beard from getting stuck in the stock. So, what an awesome product. That's by 2AM, I believe, yeah, 2AM Supply. And like I said, they're like $15. So I'm like really happy. I'm getting to help that guy out. What a nice guy. Yep.
But when is going to be the Tactical Santa beard oil coming?
Right. So Florida Boys Grooming is going to have a scent coming out. As far as I know, it should be coming out. I think Black Friday. So it will be Tactical Santa beard oil, liquid butter, cologne, body lotion. So for all of you that don't have a beard, the body lotion's awesome, and his colognes are awesome. So there's stuff for even if you don't have a beard, there will be Tactical Santa stuff that you can buy. Speaking of that, I can put the link up. I'm gonna do it really quick. You're gonna think your camera went out, but it didn't. But I'm gonna put this link up. I have a Printify store where you can buy Tactical Santa shirts. I've got all sorts of Tactical Santa merchandise on there. Helps me out get the brand out. So I've got some cool shirts on there. I know that you took a look. I have shirts, hoodies. I have some jerseys on there. I think I even have shower curtains. I've got bikinis on there. Whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm not wearing a bikini.
Are you sure you won't do that?
Yeah, I'm out.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think we could talk Big Cop Diesel into wearing a bikini?
You know what? You you can ask him. I don't think I'm going to ask him on that one.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a hard pass on that one, right? I'm not gonna ask him that, but no. But there's a lot of cool stuff on the Printify store, so go ahead and check out the Tactical Santa Printify store. Lots of cool stuff happening with the Tactical Santa. But the cool thing is with Make It Home Training Solutions, we did gain kind of a new nickname. People are calling us the crew, myself, you, and Aaron. And the cool thing to see right now is and I hate to use the words of Macho Man, Randy Savage, but the cream is rising to the top. The cream is rising to the top, and a lot of people are seeing us. We're getting more exposure. We're doing more classes, and it's just an awesome thing because you're what, this is your number 3 into your instructorship, Ron, I think, and it's you're probably the same thing that I have. My feeling is I love being able to go out and teach people and run classes, and it's so rewarding. And I love that we're reaching more people, and more people are coming out to take our classes. Just a great thing. And the Tactical Santa brand's going, the Make It Home Training Solutions brand's going. Big Cobb Diesel, his brand is starting to go, and he's starting to pick up with his fitness stuff. So it's really cool that everything is really starting to take off for all of us. Ronnie Z should have a logo, I'm hoping, kind of soon. I'm going to have my friend work on that and get you all taken care of. But yeah, it's great. I love the fact that all 3 of us are on the same page and everything. I just see nothing but great things happening for all of us. One that I can't forget to mention is Amy Lucas, Steel and Stilettos. What she is so awesome. She was the one that put on that big event. If any ladies are out there watching and you're looking for an amazing woman instructor, and I hate to make it sound like that because it's not that way, but a lot of ladies would rather go and be with a woman instructor for CPL and firearms. And I cannot there we go, Steel and Stilettos right through the card. I cannot recommend Amy Lucas enough. She is awesome. She's what part, Ron? She's more down
Well,
around Deer.
yeah, I was gonna say we're east side.
Yeah.
She's more kind of
Right.
South and a little west, but she
Right.
goes all over because I know they actually she has
Sure.
a new office in Southfield too.
Right.
But I just know anytime I run across a woman who wants to get
Right.
retrained, I'm like, I got the card for you.
She is it. She is awesome. And it's always great when we can do things with her too. She's come out. She's actually taken our DSF or practical pistol 1 class. She is a great instructor. She's awesome. Glad that I'm glad to call her a friend, a fellow colleague. She's amazing. There's a lot of good instructors we deal with, and I mean, I'm probably sure I'm leaving some people out. If Tactical Santa can do some shout outs to some awesome instructors, one that was in the room, Ken Kepke, a great guy. Let's go Cindy Ford, Amy Garcia, CJ.
CJ.
Awesome. CJ is awesome. There's a great network of really good instructors starting to form. And that's what this state needs is all the good instructors need to start sticking together because at the end of the day, there's plenty of business for all of us. But the most important part about that is that these students that are out there, they need to have great instructors to train them. And we got to stick together and we got to get the good instruction. I hate to say it, good instruction to the masses. To the masses, we got to get the good instruction to the masses. But it is so true. I mean, I a lot of times before when I was working at the store, you have to bite your tongue because there are a lot of instructors that shouldn't be instructing. But I will never say nothing in front of their clients or in front of them. I just keep my mouth shut. But it's like there are a lot of bad ones out there.
Like we discussed that before. The $50 class, half the time all they're doing is reading information off the board, and if you ask them a question,
Right.
they just say I'm from a middle class family and go back to reading off the board.
Right. At the end of the day, if you're an instructor, the mindset that you should have is, you know what? I want to make these students as as awesome as I can. Now, I don't want to overteach. Like at a CPL class, you don't want to deluge them. You don't want to open the fire hose up and deluge them with information because they're not going to remember everything, right? But you have to make sure they remember the important stuff. So you have to have an instructor that actually realizes that and realizes what the important stuff is that that student is there to learn, right? The worst thing I've sat through, like I've told you stories before, when I first started instructing, I went and took CPL classes from other instructors. I wish I could do that today, but the problem is there's too many instructors that know the face. So I just can't slip into a class and be like, hey, I'm a student. You know, they'll know something's up. But before I became semi-famous, if I am famous, I don't know which way. But the one thing that used to irk me is a lot of these instructors act like people are there to hear about their life story. I'm like, I'm not here to listen to your life story, man. I'm here, I'm paying you money to learn. I don't, you know, there's nothing wrong when you're at, okay, in a class, and if I was up there, I'm like, hey, everybody, guess what? I'm Dino. I'm the Tactical Santa. I'm your instructor today. My background is I've had 25 years in the executive protection industry. I'm a USCCA instructor. I'm a USCCA training counselor. I'm as part of the first 100 USCCA training counselors. I'm also NRA certified, and I have everything they offer except for the coaching side. No, I don't have a problem with that. Tell me a little bit about your background. That's cool, but I don't want to sit there for 4 hours and listen to you glorify yourself. And I think that happens in a lot of classes, you know, and I'm like, that's not what people are there for. You need to give them what they paid for, and that's good information that's keeping them out of trouble, teaching them the basics, and getting them started on their journey. Because if you view it like they're coming to your CPL class and it's the end all, you're going to learn everything today. Sorry, that's not what it's about. This is an introduction. It's a legal seminar. It's a gun safety class. This is where, you know, this is where it all begins and people start to connect dots. Taking more classes is where they need to go. You know, it's not an end all. You can't end all anybody in 8 hours in a CPL class.
If it's not a class for bragging, it gives you the
Right.
information you need to know how to be aware. You give you situations.
Right.
There's a lot of cool things. It's not a military class. There's no yelling, screaming. You did it wrong. What's wrong with you?
Right.
It's very humbling. It's
Right.
very professional.
Right.
And it's at ease.
Right. You know, that's one thing. There's I wish more instructors would take pride in what they do, learn their craft. You know what I mean? It's you know, when I first started off, I mentored under another instructor. You know, a lot of people don't want to mentor, put in their dues. You know, they just think that I'm going to become an instructor and I'm good right off the rip, off day one. I don't need to go take any other classes. I don't need to listen to other instructors, you know. I mean, it's one of those things. But enough going down the instructor rabbit hole. Any other questions you may have, Ron, or anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, how do I get the giant raccoon off my porch? There's a, if I could,
Just,
yeah, there's
just,
a giant.
just throw them some peanut butter. Throw a peanut butter sandwich. There
Throw
you
a cat
go. There you go.
on top of them, that'll scare them.
Right.
Yeah, plenty.
Right. You know, something I would like to add is I know a lot of people are out there looking. Get a hold of us. Put some comments, messages. What do you want to hear us talk about? I know next week we're going to be talking more about situational awareness, the red flag laws, anything else. I mean, we can always talk about whatever you want. Let us know, you know.
But
because I mean,
no,
go ahead.
I was gonna say it's neat because, you know, when it comes to the right holster, the right firearm that fits you, the clothing that's going to work best, that also comes down to your health. Health is all part of it.
Sure.
Because if you're not healthy, how can you do some of these activities correctly in a timely manner? So that's why between myself and my background, your background, and Aaron, in class, we have everything covered.
Right.
So,
Well, you know,
and that's why we train each other on each of the stuff that we do best.
right,
And that's why we're going to be the crew.
right. You know, and something I get asked a lot of time is, you know, so be the typical Ron. You need to be the student. Ask me, what is the best weapon in the world? What's the best weapon in the world? Come on, you know you want to
You
ask
know
me,
what?
right?
You know, Tactical Santa, what is the best weapon
The best weapon in the world
in the world?
is your mind. Your mind is the best weapon. You have to have the right mindset. You have to be aware and you have to be looking for things. So your mind is the best weapon out there. Now, gonna ask me, Tactical Santa, what's the best firearm in the world?
Wow.
Want to ask me that?
What is the best firearm in the world?
Tactical Santa says this: the best firearm in the world is any gun that you can pick up off the ground during a gunfight. Pick it up and make it go bang. That is the best firearm in the world. One that works when you need it.
And every time we go to the range now, we already know we can shoot with two hands. Two
Right.
hands is easy. So now every time it's strong side one-handed, weak side one-handed. Because
Right.
then when you put them together, of course you're on target. So
Right,
you got,
right,
if
exactly.
you're going to train a little bit harder, get out of your comfort zone, you know, try
Right.
something different because you never know what scenario situation you're going to be in.
Right,
So you got to train different ways.
right.
And
So,
maybe you want to go to the range with your friend just to try his out just so you can experience something different.
right. So let's do some conclusion stuff. Let's do our last bit. So, do you wanna do Big Cobb Diesel's final thought? What he usually says.
You better do that one.
I don't know if I can do it justice. Are you sure?
Let's try. You can do it.
All right. Let me see if I can get this right. Carry everywhere that you can legally carry. Make sure you're carrying. Carry every day and carry where you can legally all the time. Carry all the time you can. I think I got it close enough. I think Big Cobb Diesel will be proud of me. I got it close.
I was hoping you would say you're going to do Aaron's closing and do the rocks line.
Oh, yep.
So if you watch this later on, he's going to be like, boys, we're going to have a sit down.
Finally, the Big Cobb Diesel has come back to Facebook Live, and they'll all be chanting his name, the millions upon millions of the students that the Big Cobb Diesel has trained.
See that? There you go.
Good enough?
That's
Good enough for
beautiful.
you?
That's
Alrighty.
awesome. That made my day.
My final thought is this. If you can go train, try to learn something new, one new thing a day. And Tactical Santa order is for life because I am the sleigh driving, flying reindeer riding, Glock carrying, mistletoe hanging, milk and cookie eating, coming down the chimney, kiss stealing, son of a Claus. Ho, ho, ho.
I love it.
We'll end with you, Ronnie Z.
You know
what do you have to say?
Practice situation awareness. Same thing we do every time we go out. Let's see if you can see someone who's actually carrying concealed.
Right.
And it's just good. It's just a good practice because that's what the bad guys are looking forward to.
Right.
And always know you're out. That's one of the things you ride a motorcycle, anything when it comes to security, personal protection, you always need to see your way out.
Right.
So situational awareness, that's also about finding your way out.
Come see Make It Home Training Solutions to take a Practical Pistol 1 class. Get a hold of myself or Ronnie Z or Big Cobb Diesel if you're looking for any CPL classes or if you're looking for any private training, let one of us know. If you're on the other side of the state or maybe you're a couple states over and you want to host us, give us a call, message us. I can tell you this, all three of us don't have a problem traveling if the student count is right and the facility's right. So let us know. Everybody stay safe. Have an awesome weekend. Will we train? Well, we won't be training. We'll be teaching all weekend, but that's always fun. We'll see you next Wednesday, and we'll be talking about some more stuff. Take care, everybody. And Tactical Santa for life is out of here. Have a good one.